Welcome to the mystical land that is joannaland. I am your host, Joanna Dreiling, and I am beyond excited to be on this journey of transformation over a lifetime with you. This is a space dedicated to your highest evolution and our collective igniting a deeper humanhood. Let's roll, baby. What up, my love? I'm living for these singing warm-ups. If you are not listening to them, they're typically at the end of the episode. They're fun. They're just the way that I'm warming up, and it's an edge for me to even share my singing voice, but and I guess that's low-key what we're here to talk about. On a subtle basis. No, I'm being serious. They're sometimes really good, sometimes really bad, but I'm practicing my singing voice more, and so I also want to share it with everybody. But today, I want to remind us that transformation takes time. Transformation takes time. If you actually want to shift your life deeply, if you want a sustained, integrated transformation and integration and integrated and wow, why can I not say this word? Integrative and integrity all come from the same root of whole. And I feel like I've said this. I said this in the last episode, but I need to remind us that when we are wanting an integrated, a whole transformation within us, it is going to take time. And every single time I think about transformation, the imagery that comes back to me again and again and again is that of the butterfly. The butterfly who exists as a caterpillar, as something that is just on the ground, seeing only this tiny perspective of the world, scoped in, and everything seems so big and so overwhelming. And then in the process of transformation, of going into the cocoon, the butterfly literally becomes, the caterpillar literally becomes goo. The caterpillar literally becomes goo. So therefore, there is no longer anything of the caterpillar there. There is a total disintegration of whatever the caterpillar was, in order for there to be a reintegration for the butterfly that, guess what, sees from a higher perspective, because it can fly, baby girl, it can fly. It has such a different perspective of the world, and it has beauty on its wings as it flies in the world of greater perspective, bringing joy to all of the people around it as a result of their wings. My love, do you not see that you are the butterfly? And that your transformation is going to take time. Your transformation will take time. And I say this with such emphaticness because of my own personal experience, that I have been in this work full-time as my work for 7 years. And it only now feels like I am deeply integrating. But guess what? I also shifted over the last 6 months, myself and the whole entire way that I was approaching the world. And there were so many times during that 6 months where I just was in such agony around why I was still in the goo and in the murk, and why I was still so deep in the shadow of my existence, and knowing that because I was still in the shadow of my existence, because I was still in the goo, there was still transformation to be done. And I thought for a time that it had been, came back. And then I started traveling, and then it reminded me that even there is still transformation. I can come up here and be a monk on a mountain, but when my transformation and my evolution gets tested is when I am in the world, when I am in the world and I am acting in it. And I did that in June, and I was like, wait, we got to check ourselves a little bit here. And realize that I haven't actually integrated this transformation as much as I would like, because it threw me for so much of a loop. My nervous system was all out of wickety whack. And I definitely probably over-traveled after not traveling at all. And now I am here. And tomorrow, I leave for the longest time, I leave. And when I really process it, I came here in October, and this is the longest I have been anywhere since my parents got a divorce in 2001. I've taken some trips to Massanutten. I've done some things with my family and gone out east in Virginia, but I haven't really left the state of Virginia since January. And I left it then for 2 weeks. And prior to that, I was just in Virginia for the most part. It's I've just, wow, hello. But really, all of the duration of 2024, I have been more grounded and more grounded, more literally not traveling and not traipsing myself everywhere. Because 2001 started the spree of every other weekend going to my father's house, which at the time was 3 hours away. And I had just suffered from being shot in the eye with a BB gun, trigger warning. And that's a huge level of process. So that brings me to a great point that I need to make within our transformation taking time. Whether or not we take a top down, which is the conscious mind into the body, or a bottom up approach from the body into the conscious mind, it will take time, because my nervous system has regulated since 2001 2 rapid levels of movement. So that is why I love being nomadic, and I like being a vagabond and living more of a vagabond lifestyle. And this is because it's actually what feels natural and safe to my nervous system. So then for me to go to multiple months of me not going anywhere and me really grounding and it being this deep process at the same time. I'm not saying transformation cannot occur when you're traveling, because, oh my gosh, it's the best form of travel. But there are times when we need to ground ourselves so that the integration can occur. And I was too busy running around for 7 years trying to get the transformation outside of me, inside of me, right? That's how I feel like I was operating my life. And then through this process and this grief in 2024, I came and the releasing that occurred allowed for the diamond to be for the pearl. I really think of it as a pearl in this situation. It's it allows for the pearl to emerge, and that the integration, that it has arrived, that it has become whole, that it's we're no longer running away from it, so therefore it is here. I just want to say it again for the people in the back, that your transformation takes time, and that God has a plan in how long, quote unquote, to your conscious mind that it's going to take. And the other thing is we must be aware of our nervous system in the process of transformation. That because I am so oriented to movement, it feels unsafe to me to ground too much. I can go back 7 years of my life and tell you exactly where I was and what I was doing, or not necessarily what I was doing, but I can tell you exactly where I was on the planet. And I'm telling you, for not 2 months of that time, it maximum 4 months of that time, I was not going anywhere. And even then I was going on little mini things in wherever I was. Girl cannot sit still. And this has been the only time in my life that has brought me to my knees enough, that has sat me still for long enough, that the transformation could actually integrate, that I could actually remove everything that was holding my body back all those years, behind all of the coping mechanisms and all of the different ways in which I was allowing myself to dull what it is within me, to dull the pearl, to not allow its essence to be expressed in the world. And the transformation of being your authentic self is one where it is not it is so much less about doing anything, and it is more about being in your body and decluttering the shit from the shit. Decluttering your body, decluttering your home, and decluttering how you create and also circulate wealth in the world. We come back to it once again. We must be reminded that we need to declutter these ways that we impact ourselves and the environment and the greater earth home that we live in. We have to remember the humanhood that we exist in as a part of ourselves, and that if my transformation takes time, so does this person's on the other side of me. And we get to trust that the transformation is going to happen in them, but we need to lead ourselves through our own transformation first, life jacket first, oxygen mask first. And I'm really talking about mamas out there. I'm not a mama yet, but wow, do I know that my capacity, I have learned so deeply over the last 7 years about the importance, the regalness, and the reverence for putting on your oxygen mask first. I have learned it more times than I wish I could tell you. I actually want to vomit about like those types of that, the depth of that. But the reason that I feel like I've learned that to a deep degree is that as a mother, it is so ingrained in us as a society to be the martyr and to not put your oxygen mask on first. And it needs to go on because ladies, women, I'm telling you, it is slowly killing us through breast cancer, heart disease, and other types of cancers and dis-ease in the body because we are too focused on everybody else around us to be focused on the environment within us when we are the dictating environment. We are the leadership environment. 9 times out of 10, the woman in the room is the one leading the room. And I don't mean like in a boisterous manner. I mean energetically, y'all. I mean in presence and the ability to hold dynamic energy of what is happening in the environment. And if you had no idea what I'm talking about, shameless plug for my business and what I do in the world, because oh my gosh, could I hold space for you to deepen in this process yourself? Because this magic that we all hold, women and men, non-binary, every single human inside the humanhood that walks this planet, if you are alive and breathing on God's green earth, you have this inside of you to transform, to be able to live a life differently, to move beyond the caterpillar. It is not an easy process, but it is valiantly worth it, my child. Like, wow, the ability for us to transform and live greater lives and for us to understand the energetic environment and the energetic impact that we as an individual are making and how we live is making an impact. We have to remember how much of an impact we make with every step that we take, every step. And that our ability to take more promising steps, our ability to walk forward in such deep faith requires us to put our oxygen mask on first and for us to connect to our bodies and our spirits so they can facilitate a deeper mind. One where it's not operating, where it's not of the egoic, where the enemy cannot fucking get you, y'all. We are a tapestry as humanity. We are each a thread weaving in and out throughout each other. And to think that we are not is so deep in disconnection and of the disconnection of our collective consciousness. And the more that we come back to the humanhood that we are inside of ourselves, the innate goodness within our soul essence, baby, that we can be that change that we want to see. And that transformation is going to take time. That transformation is going to take time. But the bounty, the expression, the joy, the gratitude, everything, the peace, oh my gosh, the peace, my love. Amen. I just got to say amen, amen, amen. Shoo! I love you so much. Thank you for being here and thank you for taking the time to transform your life. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day when Jesus was. when Jesus washed my fears away.